We know you love swimming. We get it. We love it too. But have you ever found yourself in a situation where you instantly regretted your decision to dip your toes in the water? If you haven't, you're lucky. But we're here to warn you, if you have, then you're going to feel better about not having it worse after watching this video. Number 1 is the Nile River. Although it is considered the cradle of humanity, the Nile is actually the home of many, many dangerous animals, especially crocodiles that are ready to devour you if you make the mistake of thinking it's okay to splash around for some cool photos. Every year there are about 200 crocodile-related deaths, which if you compare it with shark attacks that barely reach 16 a year, you can understand how dangerous it really is. So if you visit the Nile and think, nah, it won't happen to me, think twice because it might truly happen. They even have their own name, literally called the Nile crocodile, and they're about 16 feet long and 500 pounds. Number 2 is Bubbly Creek. Oh, it sounds cool and inviting, but believe us, it's really not, unless you want to swim where there's blood, entrails, and meatpacking waste gathering for years. Now, that does sound inviting if you're a serial killer that wants to get rid of bodies. To make things even worse, when all this waste started to decay, bubbles started appearing in the lake, giving it its nice, cute name. Also, it is so toxic no fish or other animals even live in it. So, dear viewer, if you find yourself in this Chicago River, don't jump in, no matter the dare. Number 3 is Lake Karachay. It's a shame that this lake looks so idyllic and picturesque, and pictures are the only things you can do here without growing a third arm or something. Located in the southern Ural Mountains in eastern Russia, this lake was the dumping ground for the Soviet Union's nuclear weapon facilities. To top that off, it was also affected by multiple accidents and disasters that led the surrounding areas to be highly contaminated with radioactive waste. So maybe forget the photos that we're talking about as well. After all, who wants to remember visiting a place that was described as the most polluted spot on Earth, and if you swim in it, you could die within an hour? Thankfully for the locals today, the lake is completely infilled, acting as a near-surface permanent and dry nuclear waste storage facility. Number 4 is Qipu Falls. This next one's entirely up to you to decide if you want to take a dive or not here, depending probably on how superstitious you are. Although it's currently closed to the public, this spot in Hawaii is very popular to tourists, one of the reasons being the introduction scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was filmed right there, but it's also known for the many drowning deaths that have occurred there, without any proper explanation as to why. Of course, there's a lot of folklore that surround these deaths, including rumors of pissed-off ancient gods and hidden whirlpools. So the question is, would you dare to jump? Number 5 is Lake Victoria. If you're a risk taker, then this one might actually lure you in rather than stop you. Lake Victoria is the largest lake in Africa and the 3rd largest lake in the world, and has cost the lives of about 5,000 people every year. All these numbers are pretty impressive, one of them for the wrong reasons. Usually the cause of death is that in some parts of it, the lake has its own isolated weather system, meaning the weather can change from one second to the next, and you definitely do not want to be inside it in the middle of a storm. According to the National Lake Rescue Institute, Lake Victoria is arguably the most dangerous stretch of water in the world in terms of fatalities per square kilometer. Thank you, but no thank you. Number 6 is Rio Tinto. This one goes to the list of nice to take a photo of, but don't even touch the water, literally meaning Red River. This Spanish river is famous for its unique red and orange color, which unfortunately derives from chemical makeup that's acidic and has very high levels of iron and heavy metal. This was because the area was once used as a mine until now. The red and orange color is maintained for an approximate length of 50 kilometers, at which point the color slowly begins to fade, leaving the rest of the 50 kilometers of the river with a normal watery color. Surprisingly enough, some microorganisms still manage to make their home in this river, proving that life doesn't stop at anything, although it might stop for you if you decide to take a dip and taste the water. 7 is the Blue Lagoon. This pretty lake in the United Kingdom looks like a siren who calls the sailors in only to drown them. Its blue waters are so appealing that if you don't know that they're deadly, you'd definitely throw your clothes in there and go for a dive. But you shouldn't, and here's why. This lake has a drastically high pH level, reaching an astonishing 11.3, which means the alkalinity is similar to that of ammonia or bleach. Even the signs leading up to the lagoon say, "Warning, polluted water. Lagoon known to contain car wrecks, dead animals, excrement, rubbish. Warning, Do not enter water due to high pH, can cause skin and eye irritation, stomach problems, fungal infections, thrush. And one that says, think, would you swim in ammonia or bleach? We have to say no, nope, nah, no, and finally, no. Number 8 is Reunion Island. Now, if you want a reunion with your friends and you're thinking of taking a vacation somewhere exotic where you can swim all day, don't go to Reunion Island. Although it has hundreds of private and public beaches, this beautiful island is responsible for 16% of the world's fatal shark attacks between 2011 and 2016. So in other words, a 3.15 per 1 million people. In other words, 3.15 per 1 million people would die in a shark attack. Would you like to take the chance? We don't. The main reason of the frequency of the shark attacks has to do with the island's tropical location. It's situated in a so-called shark highway between Australia and South Africa, both of which countries have shark-dominated waters due to the diverse aquatic ecosystem and coral reefs. Beautiful, but deadly. So, unfortunately, that's the way many things are. Number 9 is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Seems like a normal beach in South Carolina where you could go relax all day on your day off, take a dip when you're hot, but this beach has not only one but 2 deadly secrets in the waves. The main danger is the nature of the riptides, which can cause more trouble to the unfortunate ones who happen to get caught in them. The second reason, although slightly rare, is the presence of warm water cannonball jellyfish. We know just by the name you want to stay out of the water, and so do we. These jellyfish are actually deadly and they can paralyze you with their sting, leaving you unable to swim back to shore. Now imagine the scenario. Paralyzing jellyfish stings you, here comes the tide. Not incredibly likely, but very possible. I think I just prefer to sip my cocktails and look at the sea from the beach. Thank you very much. Number 10 is Laguna Caliente. Do you know what caliente means? Well, let me tell you, it means hot. The name translates to hot lagoon, and it's located at a height of 2,300 meters in a crater. So that means there's volcanic activity. So Laguna Caliente is actually one of the world's most acidic lakes, and it has, of course, no aquatic life. If you decide to take a dip, apart from dying when you reach the bottom of the lake, you'll find it covered with liquid sulfur. Lovely, just lovely. The acid gases create acid rain, acid fog, making it a place you would suggest to your worst enemy to go to on vacation, and only if you hate them like a lot. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our sad but informative video on where not to swim when you feel like the weather's getting too hot. Maybe we can make another video on where to swim if you'll ask us nicely. But for the time being, keep safe and always check the signs around an area before you decide to dive in somewhere you haven't been before. See you next time.